Well, good morning. Well, good morning, YouTube. So I came in, I had about an hour yesterday, and I came in and I got this bottom piece in, and now I have to put in these two pieces. Now, this is going to be a one and done operation. You can't split them up, and I'll show you why. So this piece goes in here like that. And then this piece goes in here like that. The thing is that you got to move pretty quickly because as you can see, you've got two surfaces. You got the bottom piece here and you got this piece here that has to be ProSealed. So I don't know how I could do it any other way than one and done if I want to get a good seal. So when I say one and done, it means I have to put this piece in and this piece in pretty much in the same day. So it's not like I can do one and then walk away and everything. So yeah, so I'm finding out a rib is about an hour per rib, roughly, by the time, mixing it up and doing everything you got to do. So I'm figuring I'm going to give myself about 2 hours to get all this done. The other thing too is the working time. Now it's a little bit cooler here in Florida. It's about 60 degrees today. So today would be a great day. I've noticed that when it's colder, even this ProSeal that I did yesterday around in the, it's still about 20 hours. It's not a full 24 yet. It's still a little tacky. And that's just because of the cold weather. So the colder the weather, the more working time you have to work with the ProSeal. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today, hopefully. But the old saying, you want to hear God laugh at you, tell him your plans and everything. So yeah, the other challenge that I'm going to have is this cradle has two ends, and in order to get to these rivets here to here, I'm going to have to pull it out, which is going to make a bypass. So I got to build a box or something to put the part on as I'm working on those outer rivets. So yeah, so stay tuned, and hopefully there won't be any bad words said today in the shop. But yeah, we got some ProSealing to do and some riveting to do. All right, YouTube, there you go. We got the fuel tank. This got all the caps on. Now what we have to do is put the big cap. But like I said earlier, I'm gonna water test this, which means I'm gonna fill it up with water. I still gotta put in the sending unit and all of the bungs and stuff for the send and return for the fly EFI. Well, one is out, which is, you got to have that regardless of the fly, and then the return for the fly EFI. So I got them all done. Yeah, there's no trick here. You just got to ProSeal it, right? I know there's a lot of discussions about the ProSeal. There's three ways. We talked about this earlier when I started ProSealing, and this came from Vans. This is not something from me. So what you want to do is you want to keep the fuel. Your first line of defense are these outer fillets, right? So that's your first line of defense. The second line of defense is basically the gasket. When you put your ProSeal in along the rib, I'll grab one here, where the holes are, you want to put it along this rib, and then that's your second line of defense. And then your third line of defense, because what that will do, I don't know if you see it, but when you put it, you get squeeze out on your, so you kind of build a gasket around your rivet head. Your third line of defense is what I'm doing here, is that the fuel will tend to want to go across these rivet heads and then work their way down the shaft and in. And so the third line is you seal those rivet heads as well. Now, where I deviated from Vans is Vans didn't run this thick ribbon to seal those heads. Vans will just do the fillets And I did that on the other tank, you know, and I'll show you. So, so Vans will tell you to do the fillets, right? That doesn't change. But then on each rivet head, let me see if I can get it. Each rivet head, instead of doing a solid piece all the way across, each rivet head just has a dab of ProSeal on it. And that's what Vans recommends. But let's see if you guys can see that. See how it's not a solid rivet. So this is the first one I did. But then after talking to guys who build a lot of RV10s, they say those leak. So if it was there, oh, I got a bubble right there, air bubble. So if it was Vans thing, they would say ProSeal as much as you can. And, you know, and they didn't say do it like I did. They said just make sure you get a lot of ProSeal. Don't skimp. And so to me, I translated that. It might be a wrong translation. I translated that to just cover everything that I possibly can. Anything that could possibly leak, cover it. Or cause a leak, cover it. So, yeah, that's what I did. But it's, you know, what you do is what you do. I don't know if this is going to work. Don't know. I mean, we're going to water test them. So in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, after I know everything is completely 100% cured and everything, we're gonna put this thing we're gonna fill it up with water, and we're gonna see if it works. And if it leaks, then yeah, once again, Vans has proved me right or proved me wrong. If it doesn't leak, then it doesn't leak. But that doesn't mean I'm right either. I mean, this is one of the, when you build an RV10, and they don't tell you this, but I've heard plenty of builders say it, so I feel confident in repeating it. One of the Achilles heel to the Vans RV10 are the fuel tanks, or these wet wings. They all have problems. Like I said, I talk to people that build a lot of RVs, not only 10s, but different models, and they say that they leak. The wet wings leak. And, you know, so that's hence the over doing it on the ProSeal. Now, a lot of you guys, you know, we're always concerned about weight in an airplane. I mean, that's natural. How do I justify it? Well, you know, I just do it. That's how I justify it. But to be honest with you, I maybe added a pound. And a lot of you are going, oh, that's a pound. That's a lot of pound. You know, well, I will tell you that the RV10 has been flight tested, and I'm not going to say the number, but I can tell you that the pound is nothing, because I know what the recommended gross weight or ramp weight for the RV10, which is what Vans publishes. But I also know a lot of actually test pilots and guys who fly the RV, and I know a couple builders, and I know a couple building assist people who actually register the RV at 3,000 pounds. Well, I just said the number. I said I wasn't going to say the number, and I just said it. So yeah, I mean, I can tell you, if you were to buy an RV10 from a builder here, they actually put 60 pounds. These are 60-pound tank or 30 gallons per tank. You can buy an RV10 with 4 30-gallon tanks. So that's 120 gallons of fuel. And so, and they fly fine. I mean, I saw one the other day. Last report, I talked to the test pilot. They were testing it after building it, and they were cruising at 185, 190 knots. Just unbelievable how fast they are. And they have it gross weighted out at 3,000. And with, now I don't know what kind of fuel they had in there, but they gross weighted out at 3,000. And they say that it flies perfectly A-OK. So, yeah, going back to, everything adds up. Got to be mindful of that. But I will tell you that like I said, I'm not worried. I would rather have an extra pound or two in my tank than have leaks, right? Because once you seal this tank up, and if it leaks, you're really building a new tank. So, and you guys saw it's taken me 2 months. Now, granted, there was a lot of delays, a lot of holidays between then and there, but these tanks, yeah, it's 2 months worth of work easily, with a normal person's schedule. Now, I know guys that built a tank in a day. I don't know. But so, yeah, so that's about it. I just want to wrap it up. If you have any questions, concerns, you guys know the routine. Leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to call it a day, let this kick, and then guess what? We're going to start on that guy right there. So that's the nice thing about vans and the wings. You get done with one, and then you just start over on the other. So, so that's about it. Be well, God bless, and may God keep you guys safe.